Welcome to Part 2, Chapter 5, Cash Control System. The essential outcomes for Chapter 5. You will be able to handle checks, bank statements, EFTs, debit cards, and petty cash by A. Identifying accounting concepts and practices related to using a checking account. B. Preparing business papers related to using a checking account. C. Reconciling a bank statement. D. Journalizing dishonored checks and electronic banking transactions. E. Establishing and replenishing a petty cash fund. And D. Connecting key terms in the chapter with application. (5-2) Accounting terminology. Bank statement. A bank statement is a report of deposits, withdrawals, and bank balances that is sent to a depositor by a bank. Reconciling a bank statement. Every month you will receive a bank statement. The purpose of reconciling a bank statement is to prove that a business's checkbook stub's ending balance agrees with the bank statement. Service charge. Most banks will charge a business for servicing its account. When you have a service charge, you will use the account miscellaneous expense. It is an account used for the service charge. Miscellaneous expense is debited and cash is credited. Canceled checks. Canceled checks are checks that have been cashed by the bank and they're listed on your bank statement. Outstanding deposits are cash that has been deposited but are not yet showing up on the bank statement. Outstanding checks. These are checks that have been written but do not appear on the bank statement. Example of a canceled check. If you notice in red, it shows that the check was paid, and it will tell you by what bank and what city and state. The bank statement. This is an example copy of the bank statement, which will have your deposits, withdrawals, and your bank balance. Looking at how we reconcile a bank statement. On the back of your bank statement, you will see a reconciliation section that allows you to reconcile your checking account with the bank statement. The first thing that you will do is write the date. Secondly, you will write your check stub balance as well as the check stub number. We will go to the deduct bank charge section on the left-hand side, and we will record any bank charges. On this reconciliation statement, we see that we have a service charge of $8. We will total up our bank charges, and on the line where it says total bank charges, we will put our total. Then we will subtract our total bank charges from our balance on our check stub to come up with our new adjusted check stub balance. Then we will go to the right side of the reconciliation statement, and we will write the balance on the bank statement. This would be the ending balance. Then we go to the add outstanding deposits, and we will list all of our deposits. In this case, we have one outstanding deposit that is not listed on the reconciliation or the bank statement, but is in our checkbook. We will take and add up the outstanding deposits and record the amount on the total outstanding deposit line. Then we will add our outstanding deposits to the balances on the bank statement to come up with our subtotal. The next section we complete is the outstanding checks section. We will go through our bank statement and list all the checks that are outstanding and their amounts. Then we will add up all of the check amounts and record the total underneath total outstanding checks. Then you subtract the total outstanding checks from the subtotal to come up with your adjusted bank balance. Then last, you're going to compare the two balances. If your adjusted check stub balance and your adjusted bank balance equal, you have just reconciled your bank statement. If they do not, then you have to go find out and search through your work to find where your error is at. After we have reconciled our bank statement, we need to check our bank statement to see if we have any bank charges that need to be deducted from our checkbook. In other words, are there any charges that affect our cash account? When we look at the reconciliation statement, we know that we had to deduct $8 service charge from the checkbook section on the reconciliation statement. So now we have to go to our checkbook stub and deduct the service charge from our actual checkbook. So if you look at this checkbook stub, underneath the word other, we have written service charge $8, and then we have carried that $8 over into the dollar amount section. So we're going to, 1, write the service charge underneath other. 2, we're going to write the amount of the service charge or bank charges. And then we are going to subtract the service charge from the subtotal to calculate our new subtotal in our checkbook. So we have reconciled our bank statement. We have deducted $8 from our checkbook stub for service charges. Now we need to make sure that that service charge is also deducted from the cash account in our general ledger. To do this, we have to first journalize in our general journal the bank service charge. So we receive a memo, which is the objective evidence, that says that we have to subtract $8 service charge from our account. So we're going to go to our general journal. We're going to write the date. The account we will use for the service charge is miscellaneous expense, and it will be debited. And then we will credit our cash for $8. The last step is to record our source document or objective evidence in the document number column. You have just finished 5-2. Please go to page 128 in your book. You will need page 95 of your working papers. Complete the work. If you need assistance, please let me know. You have just finished section 5-2. When you have shown me your work for this section, please continue on to section 5-3.